We have our 2024 All-Stars for the National League side of Team Affinity coming to Chapter 2 of Season 2 here for MLB The Show 24. So we're going to go over these here in just a second. But one thing that I want to mention is if there's not a card for a guy that's an All-Star, if there's a player that's not getting a card as part of Team Affinity, who are some other guys you're really looking forward to seeing cards of? I want to know in the comments section. I also want to know guys that maybe you hope get double cards. For example, one that stands out to me, hey, look, there's Elly De La Cruz on the Reds, so that's a card right there. And I would love it if, say, Elly ended up being that All-Star Game MVP. That's one thing to keep in mind, is as part of the All-Star content, right after the All-Star Game, right after the Home Run Derby, we're getting content drops. We're getting cards from the All-Star Game, from the Home Run Derby, based on how players actually did. And one of those should be a 99 All-Star Game MVP, but that's not going to be the only cards we get. So I'm curious down in the comments section, who are some guys that are All-Stars that aren't part of this Team Affinity that you're still looking forward to, hopefully seeing? We'll get some cards. Who are some guys, whether they're on this list or not, that you're really hoping get that All-Star Game MVP or maybe win the Home Run Derby, things like that. Guys that you would love maybe higher overalls of, like a 96, 97, 98. Potentially, I think that All-Star Game MVP, maybe the Home Run Derby winner, I think potentially maybe even some 99 overalls. I'm really curious to see, those cards that you're looking forward towards seeing. And you might notice this is the National League Team Affinity Chapter 2. My fingers are crossed that by the time I'm done going over these cards that they have dropped the American League ones. That's probably not too likely. A lot of times it kind of takes a little bit of extra time in between, so I'm hoping we get the American League ones by the time I'm finished going over the National League ones. But if we don't, I'm curious as well down in the comment section, who are the American League cards you're hoping for the Team Affinity? Because obviously some teams like the Cardinals, it's guaranteed who you're going to be seeing. Ryan Helsley's our only All-Star. But for other teams, they might have more than one All-Star. And I'm curious, who would you maybe want from the Team Affinity for American League? And who are maybe some cards both for National League and I guess, but more so American League? Who are some cards you might be waiting for potentially a higher overall version or to be earned elsewhere? Now, real quick, I just want to show you guys, in case there's anyone out there curious, like who are the All-Stars? All I want to do is see a picture. Here they are, but I kind of want to go through each division, and once I go through these cards, I think I kind of want to look at a list of the full NL All-Star selections just to maybe try to get an idea if I'm missing anybody, because off the top of my head, I don't remember who all the All-Star selections are, but I kind of just want to go through, see if there's any cards that might stand out to me and cards that I'm maybe looking forward to. So Bryan Reynolds, I always love. He's going to be the Pirates selection. These are the one per team Affinity cards, but Bryan Reynolds, I'm always a big fan of his swing. I just love switch hitters in general, so that's awesome. It's kind of similar to Elly De La Cruz. I love switch hitters. I'm real interested to see, because these are only 95, so it's not like they're going to be some super overpowered cards. I think some will clearly be better than others, but you might have to sacrifice like some contact here, some power there, some fielding there. So I really am interested to see what the attributes end up being. I kind of wish the picture was a little bit better quality. Okay, I think I got it to a little bit higher quality, but again, if you guys want to see, just all the All-Stars right there, a little bit better quality, but there they are. But I love me some switch hitters, Elly De La Cruz and Bryan Reynolds. I'm looking forward towards both of them. We have Christian Yelich. I didn't realize, I was looking at his numbers, I didn't realize just how good of a first half he was having. He's having a great season. I like Christian Yelich's swing. I think he had, the egg hunt card. That was one of my favorites this year early on during season 1. So I'm looking forward to him as well. Again, though, a lot of these guys, it's like, I need to see their attributes. What are they sacrificing for being only 95s? But 95s are definitely going to be better than, say, 89. So I'm really interested to see just what the attributes of these cards are looking like. Ryan Helsley, as a Cardinals fan, I guess I'm looking forward towards using him. I haven't been a big fan of Ryan Helsley cards and MLB The Show in the past, though, but that's my team's only All-Star selection. And I feel like for the most part, I've been kind of let down. Besides Dylan Carlson, I've been let down by a lot of the Team Affinity guys, but Ryan Helsley literally was our only option for this. I was really hoping there was some way Mason Wynn might get in and he could get a card from this, but maybe next year. And then to finish off the Central, we have Shota Imanaga for the Cubs. I don't know if I've really used any versions of him this year. I feel like for Team Affinity, a lot of times the starting pitchers are the kind of cards that I'm least excited about, or you kind of end up using the least besides grinding out those team affinity divisions. But that's going to be the National League Central. Next up, we have the National League West. And right away, this is the one that I noticed, right? Because obviously, Shohei Ohtani's an all-star. I'm pretty sure Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman are all-stars as well. That's not something I know off the top of my head. I would just assume. But, you know, the Dodgers, I think, maybe have a decent amount of options. And who knows? Maybe I'm completely wrong on who's an all-star, who's not. But I would assume number one, Shohei Ohtani, probably an all-star. And we see that Tyler Glasnow is their card. So I'm looking forward to some version of Shohei Ohtani. You know, maybe an all-star game MVP. Who knows what it might be. But, you know, that's one of those examples of a card I might be looking forward towards. Ryan McMahon. I always go back to, whenever I see a Ryan McMahon card, I always go back to his Topps Now card a few years ago that was just really a fan favorite. So that should be a good swing, a fun card to use. Luis Arraez, for me, he always plays above his attributes. He's got one of those swings. I think he's got kind of quick hands on the game. And I end up hitting more homers with him than I would think I normally would. So I'm sure I'll probably give Luis Arraez a try. Logan Webb, I think it was his face of the franchise card a few years ago. I really enjoy that starting pitcher card. It kind of depends on the pitch selection and just the attributes for him, though. But again, starting pitchers for me are never one of the kind of main cards I seem to be using for team affinity. Ketel Marte. I think it's enough said right there. Ketel Marte, always fan favorite, always one of my favorites. Always look forward to using a Ketel Marte card. So he's probably the guy. I would say, no, he is the guy I'm most excited for out of the AL West. And for the NL Central, I would say it's probably Brian Reynolds and Ellie at 1 and 2. It's kind of flip-flopping. It just depends on the attributes, the fielding. Then I would say Yelich 3, Helsley 4, and Shota probably 5. But Ketel Marte by far the guy I'm most excited for in the AL West. And then finishing it off, we have the AL East, Zach Wheeler and Ronaldo Lopez starting pitchers. I'm never really looking forward to using starting pitcher cards. I feel like 95s, closing pitchers, relief pitchers are always better than starting pitchers or shortstops, first baseman, position players when it comes to 95s. It seems like the relievers, usually lower overalls, end up being better than lower overalls of starters or position players. So Tanner Scott should be good. There's a lefty reliever right there. CJ Abrams. I don't know if I've really used a CJ Abrams card. I'm interested to see what the attributes are, how his swing feels, but I don't think I've ever used a CJ Abrams card. And then Pete Alonso. I'm always a fan of Pete Alonso cards. Hits a lot of homers for me. He's just got one of those swings. I would imagine he's going to have high power on the card. I think he's probably in the home run derby, if I remember correctly. So chances are he'll get a card from that as well. And I'm interested to see how it compares to his team affinity card. But that's going to be the American League East. I would say out of this division, I would say Pete Alonso, probably who I'm looking forward to most. But CJ Abrams, I'm unfamiliar with CJ Abrams. I feel like that might be kind of blasphemy to say, but I need to learn more about CJ Abrams, because who knows, maybe that could be a really fun card, or a guy that a lot of people are looking forward to using from this team affinity. And I'm checking their Twitter now that I'm done talking about the National League, and yeah, so we can see 35 minutes ago at the time of recording this, and I don't see them releasing the AL cards, at least not for, you know, another hour or two. And it sucks because I want to wait until the AL cards get released to make this video, but literally once I get this video done, I'm about to leave the house and go enjoy some nice weather. So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be going over the American League Team Affinity guys here in this video, but I am really curious, out of the American League Team Affinity selections, who are y'all hoping to see? Who are the cards you want to see from Team Affinity? Who are you maybe hoping to see from the All-Star Game content, Home Run Derby content? Right here, we can see some potential cards that didn't get him for Team Affinity. Shohei Ohtani, Fernando Tatis Jr., Profar, Alec Boehm, Trey Turner's a huge one every year. Bryce Harper, William Contreras, I think through BR I realized actually is a pretty solid swing, but there's definitely some good options that still deserve to get cards. We can see potential Team Affinity options. Adley Rutschman, I know people would love. I think Gunnar Henderson, Jose Ramirez, of course, Aaron Judge. We already know that Juan Soto's the Yankees. Yordan Alvarez, one of my favorite swings. Oh man, I still love his live series card whenever I do actually end up playing some MLB 24. And I'm just really hoping that some of this all-star content kind of brings back my itch to play MLB The Show, but with college football just around the corner, I'm scared that it's almost like too little too late, but I know I'm going to come back to MLB. It's not like I'm going to abandon it. We might have a few days in here where I was thinking about double uploading, but we might just only single upload and have it be some college football. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm really hoping that I enjoy the All-Star content, and I'm really hoping that this makes me actually want to grind and play some MLB 24 again, and kind of brings back my desire to play it here in Season 2 that's kind of gone away.